Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge. Welcome to the Inner Alchemy for January the 22nd, leading us through to the 27th. Inner Alchemy is a blend of the teachings of human design, branching that off into the gene keys, and incorporating some tools as a more than existing Lightworker coach. We just came out of what was known as the gateway of limitations, the bridge between the ending of Capricorn season and now moving us into Aquarius season. You might have been noticing that during the last little while, you might have been pushing against the boundaries of your own comfort zone, really kind of touching the edges to what might be a reactive tendency to yourself, perhaps noticing where you've been too restrictive in allowing yourself to trust deeper, or maybe even noticing where more boundaries needed to be established within your own life in order to have the healthy relationship with yourself. We're now entering through what is known as the gateway of imagination. We are fully into Aquarius season now. So we have shifted from the element of earth that was of Capricorn into the element of air that is now Aquarius. So this is going to be stimulating a lot of thoughts, a lot of communication. It's going to be stimulating some of that foundational work that you have been working on within Capricorn season. And it's really here to help us to move away those lower vibrating energies that can often attach to our electromagnetic field, your auric field, that then feel like the weights of gravity, those things that tend to hold you down. Air in its healthiest form rises you up, allows you to expand, allows you to connect, but it's also moving us into what is known as the 11th house. So the second last house in the cycle around the mandala wheel, around the zodiac signs. And our 11th house is all about moving into community. It's the role of the humanitarian, and it's a deeper wisdom. So this becomes like the turning point between focusing on me, it's all about me, into breathing out, branching out your energy to explore the we, the connection to the whole. Now, it's really interesting to me that we start this gateway of imagination on the 22nd of January. And I was curious because I had to go look up in numerology the master number 22. And what came forward for me was it is the master builder number. So I wrote down in my notes that it says it carries immense potential to turn idealistic visions into tangible reality through discipline, hard work, and trusting your intuition. So Capricorn season was very much about doing that hard work, working on the foundation of yourself. We spent a lot of time down in our root center and really feeling the pressure of stress that was stimulating us to know intuitively what is healthy for us and what is not. Now that we're in Aquarius season, we're still getting a lot of pressure down in that root center, but it is now shifting us towards the emotional body. So we're going to be getting some real experiences to understand the relationship between emotions, our spirit, our desires, our feeling, and that pressure of stress that is really here to help us evolve. But it also challenges us when we feel uncomfortable in the emotional energy, or we feel the intensity of our passions, or we feel this burning desire to do something. It really takes adhering to your foundation, staying strong in the core of yourself, staying present to the reality, to know and to trust in your correct timing for when you are being asked to move forward and when you're being asked to ride this through. Now, in the teachings of the Gene Keys, its founder, Richard Rudd, talks about how this gateway of imagination, which is related to Gene Key number 41, it is kind of like a start codon, which means in the genetic programming, your body's DNA reads this time period as it's a time to start. It's a time for that new beginning. When we look at this in terms of our seasons and being in the season of winter, Aquarius is now bringing us into midwinter. So this is typically a time where we do start to engage a little bit more of our imagination. We start planning for the springtime. We start planning for better days. We start imagining things that we'd like to do. We might have a desire to want to take a vacation. Perhaps you've booked yourself a vacation to take a reprieve from some of that colder weather. It can also be a time of really starting to stimulate those emotions. And when we're not very mindful of how our emotions, how our unmet desires, how our body communicates to us, its passion, its longing to engage with life. And if we are not feeding into our dreams and feeding into our potential, it really can start to overwhelm the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, to then put a lot of that heavy pressure on the self. So we want to use this gateway of imagination, which really is here to pressure us to achieve our goals, to move beyond a personal gain, and to feel that pressure to have a new experience. Having a new experience means getting out and engaging in life. It means being willing to connect with others. And that is why it's so important to shift from the me into the we, because it's going to feel uncomfortable. If you've ever been under the influence of somebody else's emotional energy, you might understand to be able to relate to how uncomfortable it is to sit with somebody who's going through grief, who is going through a hard time, who is reactive within their own energy of needing to get things done and get things done right away. And you may have been able to reflect back on yourself of how many times you've jumped in to fix, to save, to intervene, really in order to make your own self feel more comfortable. And that's where we're starting to really get aware of the power of emotions and how we often compromise our truth by feeling the reactions to the energy and being very reactive to making choices and decisions to keep us comfortable, to keep the parts of us, the inner child of the self, that was never taught about its capacity to feel, or that it was safe enough to stay in the present moment, regardless of the energy, and allow things to naturally move through its course. Mother Earth is such a prime teacher for this. And we can look at all the different weather patterns. We can look at the trees that are out in nature that are deeply rooted into the ground right now. They've called all the energy back into themselves. They're feeding it into their strong foundation. The roots underneath the ground are connecting to each other. They're sharing information. They're sharing vital life force energy. They are connected as a unit. So it's no different than seeing the tree out of the ground and how it branches off into the fullness of the summer. Underneath the ground is the same opportunities. It's like taking a look at the hourglass and the time has not run out. You simply need to turn it around. So we're being asked to really turn around our energy during this gateway of imagination, to not get stuck up in the minds, in our fantasy thoughts, in our dreams, in a tendency to escape when things feel to be too difficult. It is a beautiful thing to imagine for better days ahead, to inspire yourself to work towards your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, to hold the faith for humanity, to anticipate that, yes, joy and happiness do exist and they are magnetic qualities that are cultivated from within and draw more experiences towards itself. Now, what tends to happen in this energy, and really reflecting on the gene key 41 here, is that we get stuck in the shadow of fantasy. Fantasy means we're stuck in our minds and we're dreaming about having a better tomorrow, or we're dreaming something for ourselves, but we don't believe we can actually do it. It just becomes a fantasy. There is no action, no planning, no dedication to bring that into manifestation. And what is really coming to me right now is our tendency to go to video games, to engage in virtual reality, to create this whole online scenario where you create your character, you create its experience, you embody yourself with all of these powers to navigate into this virtual world. You go out on quests, you conquer, you level up, you do all these things, but it's just a game. It is not living in the present reality and empowering yourself, that those qualities that you are placing into your avatar or you're placing into your imagination, those qualities do exist within yourself. So it's a matter of shifting your mindset to know that you can stay present. You can stay present in what is uncomfortable. You can walk through those things that feel hard. You can trust in your body to know the correct timing for you, the correct experiences for you. You can trust in when it's your go time. Now, in order to really trust in yourself, to develop that self-confidence, to navigate through this energetic field of where emotions and passion and desire really are being stimulated, and it can feel really uncomfortable, or it can just feel like this desire to, I've got to do it now. This is where we bring in the element of planning. And it's not planning to keep yourself in a structure. It is having a plan, having a clear vision, having the ability to attune to the bigger picture, to be still enough within yourself to know why you are doing something, to have those honest conversations as to whether that is for the highest good, and to set yourself up in a plan for success. So this might mean if you are somebody who is greatly influenced by the emotions of others, you feel deeply, you're an empath, you're aware of other people's needs, feeling the pressure in your body of, I've got to do something. Planning for you might come in the form of allowing yourself to first understand, whose emotion does this belong to? What is this emotion teaching you? Is it in the highest good to interfere? And what is the desired outcome? That is a plan. It is a plan towards using the element of air to start anticipating what is for the highest good, to be ready to be still enough, to respond from a heightened sense of emotional maturity and not reacting under pressure. And yes, it feels uncomfortable. When you are an energy sensitive, when you feel things around you, when you haven't been taught how to feel safe enough to stay within the present moment in the energy, it's easy to escape. The task now becomes one of mindfulness, where you learn to reassure yourself that you can do this, that you were planted here for a reason, that your sensitivity is a true gift, that there is great inspiration right now during this time of the Gateway of Imagination to receive inspiration, to be a vessel to give birth to something new. Humanity is evolving. Whether we like it or not, change is ongoing. And you may be feeling that unrest within yourself, that change is necessary, that change is happening. You may be getting inspiration and downloads during this time of things that are new, new for humanity, new with creativity, new ways to help move us forward. When you are inspired to change within yourself for the greatest good, it is coming with the understanding that not everybody is comfortable with change. So your roots, your foundation have to be strong. You have to stand in the core of your truth. You have to stick to your plan, which means you are adhering to your target, to that bigger vision. You're not allowing yourself to be distracted. You're keeping up those healthy boundaries in place. You're not allowing someone else's insecurities to derail your desire for a better future. So we're being very mindful in this energy of our relationship to the pressure of emotion, our relationship to managing our stresses, our relationship to trusting in your timing, your intuitive knowing, and continuing to walk that journey of doing what you know to be healthy for you and strengthening and empowering yourself in the power of saying no to those things that you know are just not healthy. Now, we're not expected to take giant leaps of faith. Every single step, every single decision, every time you adhere to your truth strengthens your foundation. So don't let the journey overwhelm you. Don't get lost up in the mind and not bringing anything into reality, into manifestation. Allow yourself to start mindfully planning how you can start moving forward with your dreams, with your goals, with what you are intuitively being inspired to do, and help yourself be set up for success. If you need some help to navigate through this energy, I do offer personal sessions. There's also many, many tools to support you if you want to go to explore the More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness and allow yourself to discover what feels right for you. I am sending you all so much love. Enjoy this journey. Remember, you are in the energy of the 2-2, the master builder. So what are you building and why are you building it? Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Take care.